I recall first falling asleep today around 1:30 in the morning. Being around the time I went to bed. And then around 2 in the morning being around the time I fell asleep. And then I woke up around 6 in the morning. After I recall briefly waking up around 4:30 in the morning, but I quickly fell back to sleep. This was at a hotel in Corning. As a sort of a layover stop for me, my parents, and my sister. This hotel offers a breakfast buffet in the morning. Which me, my parents, and my sister had roughly from 7 to 7:30 in the morning. With scrambled eggs being the most prominent item I had from the breakfast buffet. After eating what was pictured, drinking the cup of plain coffee and the glass of whole milk separately, separately at the same time, I didn't put any of the whole milk into the cup of coffee because I wanted that cup of coffee plain. But I took sips of the cup of coffee and then sips of a sip of the whole milk. And after eating what was pictured, I had seconds that just consisted of some more of the scrambled eggs. I recall we left the hotel by 7:45 in the morning, 8 p.m. But not before I got a free cup of coffee, plain coffee. Which I sipped at during the drive from Corning to Philadelphia. To drop my sister off back home. During that car drive, I practiced Spanish on Duolingo. And I also recall checking the audio and video of the December 30, my dinner video. To make sure there were no problems with the upload. And before deleting the U-Cut video I uploaded to my YouTube channel, along with the raw video files that were used to make the U-Cut video project file. I also used ChatGPT through Poe, and my experience with it is that it, along with similar applications such as the one that's been on the Bing search engine for several months now, is that it takes information from the internet, basically articles, and summarizes them. And from a bit of research I've done, my feeling towards them in terms of accuracy are the same as when it comes to Wikipedia articles. They're a good place to start, but not a good place to end. We got to Philadelphia around 12:15 p.m. Where we dropped my sister off at her place. And we were there for about half an hour to 45 minutes before around 1 p.m. And Dad and I went inside a sort of bagel place that did breakfast sandwiches. Bagel breakfast sandwiches and coffee. I opted for their new hot honey sandwich That sandwich that came with egg, melted cheddar cheese, and spicy honey, and also came with some bacon. For that breakfast sandwich, I opted for the sesame seed bun and the jalapeno cream cheese. Yeah, I recall Dad got a kind of plain bagel with some plain cream cheese. And as for the bagel breakfast sandwich I got, yeah, I ate that in the back passenger seat, the one that was on the right side. Yeah, I ate that sandwich while taking sips of that last cup of coffee I got. Eating that breakfast sandwich was a bit chaotic, but it was an enjoyable experience. I only recall having some of that cup of coffee before I decided to save the rest for later, giving it to my mom, who was in the front passenger seat, and Dad was in the driver's seat. He was also the one that drove us from Corning to Philadelphia. Yeah, I think I recall roughly from 2 to 6 p.m. Being asleep during the car drive from Philadelphia back home. First to Dad's place in order to drop Dad off. And then Mom drove me to a funeral home at our hometown so we could attend the calling hours for one of my mom's friends. And it was nice to be there for my mom to support her as well as see some people who, for the most part, I wasn't familiar with, but they were familiar with my mom and her friend that the calling hours was for. I recall we were there roughly from 7:45 p.m. to about 8:30 p.m. I only went up to the open casket when my mom did, as I felt that was proper etiquette. There was also a photo slideshow on a flat screen TV in one corner of the big room. And I viewed that photo slideshow with my mom for some time. I recall we got to Dad's place from Philadelphia around 7:15 p.m. And then after briefly spending some time at my dad's place, Mom immediately drove me to that funeral home after we were done attending the calling hours. Mom then drove me to her place. At my mom's place, I recall roughly from 9:15 to 9:30 p.m. I had 2 helpings of the remaining leftovers of the homemade paella. And my mom had 1 helping. I had the second helping after she said I could have the rest. I recall during the drive from Philadelphia to my dad's place, doing some effort to edit the December 31st my dinner video, the YouCut video project file for that. But at the time I couldn't really listen to the audio of the YouCut video project file, as the radio was playing both during the drive from Corning to Philadelphia and the drive from Philadelphia to my dad's place. And for both of those drives, I was on the right back passenger seat, and I had my window open a smidge to get some fresh air. As that cool air tends to make me feel essentially less carsick. I think without it, I feel a little off. And that fresh air, a little off at times, and that fresh air, it makes me feel better. It seems I was only asleep roughly from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. during the drive from Philadelphia to my dad's place. As around 5:15 p.m., Dad gave me about a quarter of his bagel sandwich that we got from that bagel place that he got from that bagel place. And that was nice of him to do, and that bagel with cream cheese, it was pretty good. Don't think I can really call it a bagel sandwich, as it was just a bagel with cream cheese, but regardless, it was pretty good. I also recall having some of the Dove Gifts milk chocolate squares around the time I had the 2 helpings of paella. those Dove Gifts milk chocolate squares being part of what was in my stocking on Christmas Day.